power, whether red or blue. I could not care less about Texas, me and you. They created this give me country that don't value hard work. For a Texan to survive, all we need are some seeds and dirt. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Got to save your country, for it's long gone. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Got to save your country, for it's long gone. We believe in family and we value our community. Gladly lend a helping hand to a neighbor in need. And we don't believe that government should provide for all of society's needs. No, it's the pride of a Texan to give to others voluntarily. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Gotta save your country, for it's long gone. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Gotta save your country, for it's long gone. They like our tax dollars and they love our natural resources. They don't want to see us driving trucks, they'd rather see us riding horses. And now they want to ban our guns, you know, especially the ones that look scary. But may I remind you of the Gonzales Cannon and the Alamo heroes we buried. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Got to save our country, for it's long gone. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Got to save our country, for it's long gone. This last verse is straight from the Texas Constitution, Article 1, Section 1 and 2. Look it up. Texas is an independent state, yet presently we suffer. We no longer possess the right to locally self-govern. And now it's time as a people in which all political power is inherent. And in such manner we find expedient, we reform or abolish our government. I said, Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Got to save your country, for it's long gone. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Got to save your country, for it's long gone.
Well. Howdy. It's time for coffee talk. How are you guys doing this evening? I can already see that tonight is going to be a very special night. I am looking at the chat right now. And before I even really sat down here with my cup of coffee, apparently you guys were already bombarding with questions. So I can tell tonight is going to be a really good night. By the way, my name is Daniel Miller, and I am president of the Texas Nationalist Movement. For all of you who are joining us that are brand new tonight, I want to welcome you to this really just an informal chat. This is what I do once a week. I get on here for 45 minutes to an hour or so, decompress, share with you a little bit about news of the world, what's happening with TEXIT, where we are in our progress to achieving that, news from the TNM. I take your questions if they're good questions, right? If it's like the 50th time that I've heard the question and it's like in 7 places on the website and included in our media releases and something we post about on social media, or I wrote extensively about it in this book that was released in 2018, you might not get an answer. You might just get referred to one of those other places because, time. I don't have 8 hours to sit here and answer the same questions over and over. So, it's economy. I'm just trying to be courteous for those folks that are here, that show up, that study up, that read up, that listen up, trying to be courteous to them. So it's not rude if I don't answer your question. It's just, I'm going to tell you where you can jump to. And the other part of this too is that thing over here scrolls like a slot machine, right? By the way, I put chat over here so I didn't have to do weird things with it and have to squint and try to see it through here. So, but yeah, I got the chat over here. So that thing does scroll like a slot machine. I mean, it is scrolling right now because it is literally feeding your comments from 10 different locations into one chat roll. So it can get lost. So I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to get to every one of them. If I miss it, I promise it's not you. It's volume. It's an issue of volume. It's like drinking out of a fire hose over here. And if you guys hear this, I'm a little snorky. I'm having some allergy issues. So my voice is, it's questionable. But I was able to get through a speaking engagement Monday night. We'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about it in a little bit. So let's move right along. Before I get started tonight, let me remind you, if you are watching this on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, make sure that you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you will get notified every time we pop another video, right? Or anytime we go live, because this once a week coffee talk is not the only videos we do, and it will not be the only lives that we do. Many of you've seen the news about the virtual town hall that we're doing with the gubernatorial candidates. I'm very excited about that. And, of course, that'll be live. We've got some special announcements coming up. There's all kinds of things going on. Oh, and there's something else coming up next Tuesday. And I don't know that it's on the calendar yet. Next Tuesday will be the 25th anniversary of the day that I started working for Texas independence. Many of you have heard my speeches before. You've heard me talk about it. August 24th, 1996 was the day, and next Tuesday it will be 25 years. So I think the team has got a special live stream planned. They're working on something. I know a little bit about it, but not much, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so back to where I was. If you are watching on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and of course, we do have Super Chat available on YouTube right now. So if you do not mind, if you could make a contribution. I already saw someone dropped a Super Chat in there. I think it was $5, and we really do appreciate it. Every little bit helps. It is, we burn the roads up trying to get this message out. We've got a major advertising campaign that we're trying to raise money for right now. There's a lot of digital media buys. Plus, it's just doggone expensive to support an organization this large. So, we need everything we can get because right now, I mean, face it, when one candidate, we'll take Greg Abbott's war chest right now. I think he's got combined in his campaign accounts about a little over $70 million. So it's it's challenging. We're up against the wall, and we definitely need your assistance. So super chat. Now, if you're watching on Facebook, be sure that you like, share, and comment. Right, it's how you beat the algorithm. Like, share, comment. When you do that, that means that you will see more of our social media posts, more of our Facebook posts in your feed when you go there. And then, of course, if you were watching us on Periscope by Twitter, which is a very awkward name to have, that means you got just do the Twittery things, right? Give us the heart, retweet it, comment on it, do the things that Twitter that Twitter people do. And we're still working on this Instagram live too. But we're also we're broadcasting also on Twitch, and we're in several different places. But right now, we're literally going out to 10 different outlets. And I am pleased to announce, I wish I could actually shoot this other camera over here. I can't. But if you saw what was right here, you would see the final stages of the Roku app that's getting ready to launch. It should have already launched 2 weeks ago, but we want to make sure that it's working right before we launch it, because there's nothing that I hate worse than us launching something and it be full of bugs. So trying to get that knocked out, and it's literally right here, and the live stream is testing on the beta app. So if I look over here, I get to see me. A little bit delayed, but it's there. But anyway, so wherever you're watching us, I really, really, really appreciate it. And look, spread the word. Let's get those viewer numbers climbing up there. And even though it is 9:30 plus at night, there are people still up. I know that a bunch of you guys are night owls. Otherwise, you wouldn't be at a thing called late night coffee talk, right? I mean, it's just the bottom line. All right, so let's get down to it. Before I start digging off into these chats, let's talk about some news of the day. All right. As you heard me mention a while ago, I was in Bulverde on Monday night for the Bulverde. Golly, do you hear my voice? I mean, this is really bad. I mean, I'm like Peter Brady on the Brady Bunch when his voice changed. I mean, this is ridiculous. Let's hope I can make it through this. I'll be gargling salt water when this is over with. Anyway, I was at the Bulverde Spring Branch Conservative Republicans Club, I think it's called. It's got a very long name. And it was a very interesting evening. I had a little 20-minute carve out there with a question time afterwards, and alongside of some people from the Texas Public Policy Foundation talking about critical race theory. And it was amazing how, to me, complimentary the subjects were, especially when they started talking about State Representative Steve Toth, who he is the state rep who filed the anti-CRT bill to keep critical race theory out of our schools. And so, they talked a lot about Steve, and it was great to know that, Steve was one of the co-authors on Kyle Biedermann's House Bill 1359, the kind of the kickoff of the TEXIT referendum. And we're going to have not Kyle, but we're going to have Steve on. We are going to have Kyle on, but we're going to have Steve on. Talk to him. Guess it was Sunday or Monday, and I'm going to have him on. We're going to do a special event, special broadcast, not a coffee talk, where you'll get plenty of notice. We're going to have him on a live stream, and he's going to unpack what's happening in the legislature, talk more about the CRT bill and kind of where the status is of all of that in the schools. I mean, it's a big, big brouhaha. And so you're definitely going to want to hear that. And of course, I just let the cat out of the bag. We're also going to have Kyle on. Kyle and I are going to tag team a live stream coming up very soon. He's got a special announcement that he's going to make. And, we've been working on something that hopefully will be, it may or may not surprise you. I don't know. But we're going to talk about that and get his take on what's happening in the legislative session, the special sessions, and where things go from here. And his perspective on the petition campaign and our Take Texas Back campaign, where we're recruiting other candidates. So you're definitely going to want to make sure that you are receiving our emails, that you're staying plugged into what the TNM's doing. because you're not going to want to miss this. And look, that reminds me, I am going to let me do this. I will show you this real quick. I want to make sure that every one of you guys see this, because you need to make sure to get over here right now to the TNM website. If you have not signed the petition, whether you are watching this live or watching it on the replay, you need to go to the TNM website, go to events, and go find a petition signing event in your area. Okay. Now, just a reminder, all of our events are now petition signing events, every single one of them. We will have certified petition circulators at every single solitary event. But I want you to look at this. Events all over the place. Especially as we're getting close to the weekend, you are not going to want to miss any of those. Go now and sign the petition. Don't sleep on it, right? Don't think that somebody else is going to, oh my gosh, I don't need to do it because somebody else is going to sign it. No, you go sign it. Every signature matters. I don't care. I don't care if we're one away from the goal. We want to double the goal, right? So absolutely make sure you get out there and do it. But I'm going to tell you right now, and this is for all of you people that are absolutely bugging the crap out of us about publishing the number. I'm not happy where the number is right now. I'm not. As it stands right now, too many of you have not signed up to become petition circulators, right? Which you can do on the website. And too many of you have not connected with petition circulators to sign the petition. And too many of the people that are petition circulators have not collected any signatures yet. So, folks, you got to get in gear. Now, are we in a bad spot? We're not in a bad spot. We're just in that period of time, kind of consider it halftime, where the coach has to come into the locker room and sling around some chairs and say, guys, do you want to win this or do you not? Right? Do you want to win or do you not? Because if you want to win, you're going to have to go out there and you're going to have to give your effort. And look, it literally, becoming a petition circulator is literally watching a little less than 30 minutes of video on the website so you understand how it works, because it's a legal petition, right? Not some stupid White House online petition or some crap from change.org. It is a real, legitimate petition under the Texas Election Code. So you got to learn how to do it, right? You can't fly by the seat of your pants or you put the entire effort in jeopardy. But you do that, then you print out pages of the petition, you take a pen, and you go talk to people, right? We're not sending you into all these weird places, right? We're not sending you into, downtown Kabul, Afghanistan right now where the Taliban are running. We're just saying, talk to your friends, your family, your neighbors, sign the thing yourself, right? This is not hard. This is not overly difficult, but it takes effort, okay? And then beyond that, look, if you're looking, and I saw a comment as I looked over here just a minute ago. I saw something about someone saying, well, there's nobody in I think it was Wichita Falls. There is an easy way to solve that. Go right over to the petition page at tnm.me/petition, right? I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Here we go. We're going to bring this up. I'm going to show you where to go. On the website, you're going to go click on this banner that says click here to learn more about the TEXIT petition campaign, right? Then you're going to go right here and you're going to say become a petition circulator right there. There it is. It explains what you do. You click the link, you click this button, you fill out the form, and you start the process. Boom, boom, boom. Nothing to it, right? Just start the process. So that's what you got to do. It's that easy. So, if you're not having petition signing events in your area, you be the petition circulator, right? Get with your district director. If you go to the about page on the website, look, I'm even going to do that. I did not expect to turn tonight into a walkthrough of the website, but if you go to the about link right there on the menu, and you look, meet the TNM, there's everything you need to know about us, including and especially everybody that's on the team. There's your district directors. Boom. There they all are. You can find your district director, find your closest one, tell them you want your petition circulator and you want to host an event, right? You want to host a petition signing event. They are looking for all the help that they can get. So be sure to reach out to your district directors. All right. Wow. I did not expect that this was going to be, like I said, a walk through the website. I probably honestly need to do that because I get a lot of questions that are totally on the website. Like the information is there. It is clearly labeled, but apparently I need to do some walkthroughs. All right. Let me do this. Let me go over here to the chat, right? Let's go right up here and I tell you what, I'm just going to scroll to the top and I'll start working on it. Okay. So somebody asked what our count was. And here's what I want you to understand. We have a leaderboard on our website where you can see every certified petition circulator and how many signatures of theirs have been processed. So the count that you need to be worried about right now is first off, whether or not your name is on that leaderboard on the CPC dashboard, because if it's not, then you're not a CPC, right? That's the first thing you need to worry about. Second thing you need to worry about is that number next to your name, because that's what you have done. So worry about that, and then let's get it done. Somebody asked if I'm going to talk about the Afghanistan thing, and I am going to talk about it a little bit. And we'll get to that here in a minute. But Donna actually makes a good case. She says at least the anti-Texit folk have lost a big chunk of their fear weapon. Truth. The federal government has lost all credibility whatsoever, both domestically and internationally. This is the federal government that has failed. So we'll talk about that. Okay, scrolling down. JD says getting fancy with the intro. Yeah, that's like, I think this is like the second or third week that the new intro's played. So we got a little intro graphics here. I'll give you another one. Look at that. Oh, look, it's me and my name, in case you forgot. But yeah, they're definitely beefing it up. So, this is fun. So we got folks headed to the beach. Lucky, that's all I'm going to say. I would like a vacation. Maybe I'll get a vacation when we get TEXIT done. Let's hope so. Mark, hey, great to see you too. And I'm glad you love the coffee talks. It's here lately. It's been a lot more talk than it has coffee. So let me take maybe there should be like a coffee drinking game, maybe. All right. Hey, Tex, thank you for your super chat. I do appreciate that. The Toyota Hilux, the national truck of Texas. I don't even know what that means, but the fact you put an LOL after it, I am taking it that was a joke. So I will laugh and be amused. And Mark, thank you for your comments about the book. Okay, so here's something from Diana. This is interesting. She says, I have a problem as a person on a fixed income that signed up for TEXIT and always get info, and yet I'm not a member because I cannot afford to pay into a program that is supposed to be for all. Diana, I'm not entirely sure what that means. Support registration is free. It's free to volunteer. It's free to become a CPC, right? Membership, people become members of the organization, and they get certain things for that. But mostly what they get is the satisfaction of knowing that they are helping shoulder some of the financial burden, right? If everybody came on board and said, I just want to be a declared supporter, we wouldn't have any, there wouldn't be a website because we couldn't pay for hosting, right? There'd be no advertising. There'd be none of those things. But we're not looking down on anybody or preventing anyone from doing anything simply because they're a registered supporter and not a member. So I'm not entirely sure what that's about, but look, I'm going to encourage you to participate to the fullest extent you're able to. Oh, and I see some people have echoed that sentiment. Graven says my signed copy is now a collector's edition. Here's what's funny. When we were at the rally against censorship in the Woodlands. They had all of us authors there for Defiance Press. I mean, there were tables literally all the way around the ballroom. And so afterwards, went to the table, and people came up and they had books, and a lady came, and she actually had one of the hardcovers that I had signed. Right, she had ordered it through the TNM website. It was signed, and she's like, so she came up, she says, "Hey, I just want to know if this is really your signature." It's like, yes, I literally sit down with a Sharpie when you order an autographed copy on the TNM website, and I sign every one of them. And not all the signatures and messages in them are the same. The signature is the same because my signature, but the messages are not all the same. Sure, some of them are the same. You got a certain amount of things you can write, but by and large, every one of those is hand signed by me. And so to prove it, I took the Sharpie out, and at the top of the page, I wrote. At the top of the page, I wrote, "This is to confirm that the below is actually my signature," and then I signed it again. So, proof. But I thought it was funny. But yes, I literally do. This is what people a lot of times don't understand. Like, every book that comes that's ordered through the TNM that I sign, I physically sign it. When you become a member of the organization, Kara, you guys know my wife, right? She literally, her hands are on every one of those. She literally bundles up your membership kit and seals it herself and puts the postage on it. And I mean, we handle so much of this, and although we could outsource some of it and probably automate some of it, there is a satisfaction that comes from being that first touch for our people, and there's a degree of care there. So, it's what we do. We work on this thing all the time. Okay. So Zach wants to know. Yes. I'm not sure who said this because, man, these glasses are terrible. Volunteers are so very needed. That is absolutely true. Zach says, "Tell us when we get to vote on this and what precautions will be taken in case to prevent fraud." Zach, I'm going to encourage you to go to tnm.me/petition, something I showed on the screen a moment ago. That will explain exactly what the current campaign is and exactly what it does, and it will answer your question in full. Okay, so let us scroll on down. Yeah, Lisa says she's going to petition signing in Arlington this Saturday. Yeah, hey, look, don't go by yourself, folks. If you're going to these petition signings, you line people up, burn it up on social media, share the events, call your neighbors, everybody jump in a car, go over there. I mean, the more the merrier. We've got to get folks, we got to get ink on paper to absolutely make sure we get this thing across the finish line because it changes everything when we do. Okay, so let's see. Let me scroll down here, guys. Hey, thank you guys, Diana. I hope you're, I thank you guys that are in there visiting with Diana. And Diana, we're glad to have you. So, and someone says they don't super chat, but they do send in donations. Thank you for that very much. Every dollar counts. And, I'm not trying to turn this into, the Labor Day telethon, but it does not hurt, right? I mean, we come into this thing outmanned and not necessarily outmanned, but definitely outgunned when it comes to having a war chest. And, we got to make up that difference. But the good news is we don't have to raise as much as those guys raise, right? We can do it for a fraction of what they do and still get the job done because we have learned from having to do this for a very long time how to get things done on a shoestring. Okay. Someone wants to know how the Roku app, is going to be listed on the Roku directory. And all you'll have to do is search for Texas Nationalist Movement or TNM, and you'll be able to find it on there. It's not available yet. It's currently in beta, but I mean, we should be just honestly a couple days away from pushing it. My guess is we'll push it over the weekend. Okay. I see you guys duking it out on here over the governor's thing. Hey, look, duke it out all you want to, right? I mean, we got to, at some point, we're going to settle on something. November 7th is going to be your day. We've got 3 of the candidates that are going to be on there. And also, we've got a couple of more that have emerged out of the woodwork. Now, I don't know that we're going to be able to fit them in this particular virtual town hall because it's an hour long. And with, 3 candidates, it's already going to go long. I'm kind of happy that Abbott's not showing up now because we want to give these guys plenty of time to talk about the issues, get into some substantive discussion. But we have a couple other candidates that are apparently coming out of the woodwork, and I do believe that we're going to host another event. It's all being worked out right now. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with that, but we are going to make sure that you hear from all of them, right? Lisa says 1836 a month puts you in the 1836 club. Anyone know the significance of 1836? Or is that a rhetorical question? I don't know. Maybe I'll see it down a little bit later, but I'm hoping it's a rhetorical question. Hey, Donna, thank you very much for your super chat. We really do appreciate that. George wants to abolish direct taxation. Yes, I want to abolish our ties with the federal government as well. Somebody says, Tex says that 1836 is also the solution to 1984. Absolutely. Yes, Alec, I am going to talk about Afghanistan. I literally said that before I started taking questions. Beverly says hot bourbon and honey is going to cure what ails me. And yes, it would definitely cure what ails me. But with hot bourbon and honey and live streaming, this thing would probably go pear-shaped in a hurry. Yeah, my tolerance level for nonsense would drop really low, and this could go off the rails quickly. So maybe I'll take your advice on that when this is all over with. Okay. Okay. Viva. Hey, thank you so much for your super chat. I do appreciate that. And just so you know, I think I know who is behind that username, and I'm not going to say it online, but Kara she went back and watched last week's Coffee Talk. You couldn't see it live. And so it was a funny thing because when I think you maybe did a super chat last week, and when I said Viva, and when I said Viva, and I said not the paper towel, I got in trouble for that. She got on to me. She's like, what are you doing? Why are you saying that? I mean, that's there. And I was like, I know that. Just trying to have a little fun, folks. Just a little fun, a little bit. Okay. Okay, so apparently somebody definitely needs to jump in there. How about you don't have to be a member to collect signatures. You just have to register your support. You have to register as a petition circulator, and there's no cost. So look, Dinah, if you're having some challenges with it, definitely, and this goes for anyone that's having challenges, they want to become a petition circulator and you're not sure how it works, reach out, go to the contact link on the website and say, look, I want to become a petition circulator, but I am not understanding this process. We will help you. Promise. Okay. Let's see. Man, you guys are definitely chatting it up tonight. Yeah, someone said, and I can't see it because I think it's in the members group, in our members Facebook group, but it says a page a day from everyone would be nice, and that is absolutely the God's honest truth. Okay, Stephen, this is interesting. Stephen has a TEXIT transition question, and I do like these. He says, what plan do you have for transitioning both armed forces and military bases on which the federal government has a claim? Now, the interesting thing about that question is when you talk about transitioning them, if you're talking about it in the sense of kind of the modern, Department of Defense, I'm not sure if you're talking about sex changes, I don't know, because according to them, in the new woke federal military, that word transitioning may have a completely different meaning, but I'm going to take it that that's not what you mean. I'm guessing because you included the military bases aspect of it. What you're asking about is how we shift that, right? How those things go from being federal bases to Texas bases. And what I talk about typically from when we start talking about transition and negotiation, that's obviously a negotiated issue. And it's really tied to a lot of other issues, specifically around the issue of mutual defense, right? So when you start talking about that post Texit vote, kind of how that's going to shape up, we have to talk about it really in the sense of probabilities, right? We talk about it from what our negotiating strengths are, what our position as Texas should be, and what the probable outcome is, right? What is the scenario that is going to be the one that is most likely to happen? So I'll cut to the chase because I actually talk about it a bit in the book. I've talked about it in Q&As before, and I think there may be something on the website about it. But what you got to understand is that the argument, this is really tied to the complaint that people make, or the I don't even want to call it a complaint, the project fear mongers out there who love to talk about how Texas leaves and China's going to invade, or Mexico's going to invade, or they fill in the blank is going to invade, right? You'll be attacked by North Korea. Really? Well, they got to get in China. Well, they got to go through California first, right? But the assumption on their part when they ask that question is that Texas and the remaining United States won't share common defense concerns, right? So, we will no longer be governed out of Washington, D.C. We will no longer be, under their political thumb. But that does not mean that we will not have common issues that we have to do business on. And one of those, in a very limited respect, is that of national defense and defense concerns, right? So you have to ask yourself, how does that play out? First, to those people who complain, fill in the blank scenario. The Mexican military comes in. Okay, well, that's hilarious because our organization's got more registered supporters than the Mexican has soldiers, right? So not particularly concerned about that. But China. So let's take China because that's kind of the common one that I hear nowadays. You guys will be invaded by China. So do you honestly think that Europe, Canada, UK, United States would tolerate a Chinese military incursion in North America? Do you think that would happen? Okay, so let's say that Texas was where they came. Do you think they would just throw their hands up and go, screw it, nah, whatever? Oh, let the Chinese have Texas because they didn't want to be part of the United States under Joe Biden or anybody else for that matter, right? That's not how this works. I mean, it's one of those pie in the sky scenarios. So when you look at it that way and you say, okay, look, we're going to have common defense concerns. And because we have common defense concerns with the United States, that will very likely affect how we transition out those military bases, right? They could transition those military reservations, because that's what they are, under Texas military control, right to the Texas Military Department. Texas Military Department could take over those military facilities. Troops could be shifted over from one contract to the other, or they could be required to stay in the U.S. military and ride out their contract and then have the opportunity to re-enlist in the Texas Military Department, right? I mean, they could, those options all exist. But the most likely outcome for this sort of negotiated issue is that those become Texas military bases under the control of the Texas Military Department, but operated as joint defense bases with the United States over common defense concerns. That is sort of where the probabilities are. Now, that could go, it could go either way, to either side of that issue, where it's like, okay, no, they don't want to operate. Well, that's fine. Texas is going to take care of Texas, and we'll take care of everyone else because we will be that first line of defense. Oh, yay. More coffee for coffee talk. So It's a negotiated issue, and like I said, I mean, I'm not going to be able to do it entire justice on this broadcast tonight, but it is covered in the book, and it's covered on the website some too. And maybe we'll do a video on that particular aspect of it. There's a lot. Thank you. There's a lot related to the issues of transition and negotiation that could warrant a almost like a special workshop, like literally having a 2-hour workshop covering that particular aspect of it, so people understand. Okay, post TEXIT, right? We get the vote. What happens that next day, right? What happens that next week, that next month, that next year, and start helping people kind of understand that. Now, granted, there is no concrete, right? None of us are fortune tellers. But what we can do is we can say, based off of what we understand, based off of all the information, the data available, this is the way that it should go, and these are the most likely outcomes, and these are the most probable outcomes. So that would be interesting. So sound off in the comments, whether you're watching live or on the replay, sound off in the comments if you'd like to have kind of a special, maybe like a 2-hour thing where I come in, we talk about this, we completely unpack just this particular part of it. Let me know. If there's a demand, we'll make it happen. Okay. Let's go down through here. But that's a great question, Stephen. Thank you for asking it. Okay, let's go ahead because I got to get to this Afghanistan thing, or I'm going to get pounded in the chat again. I just know it. Okay, hey, and just a reminder because we're at the halfway point here. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Facebook, Twitter, do those Facebook, Twitter things that you do, but share. Let's pile more people on here and let them know. Okay, so William, this is interesting. Why is TNM not contacting the current 400,000? We should be okay. My Lord. It seems a disservice to all the people that paid to be a member but don't get a call when such an important petition is going around. Well, William, let me tell you something. Number one, we actually covered this very thing when we announced the petition, which was live streamed, sent out via video, sent out via email, and you're basically saying, why are we not contacting 400,000 people, and then complaining that you didn't get a phone call? And it's like, you really want us to call 400,000 people to tell them something, to tell them all the same thing, right? I mean, I don't get that at all. But I don't know if you're not getting information from us, it's not because we're not sending it. We send out emails so much, we get complaints from people that we send too many emails. Okay. We don't bombard people with text messages, although we do have a text message list and we do send out text messages. So we do that. We have a statewide billboard campaign going on. We've run radio ads in by this point, all major Texas markets and some of the secondary markets as well. We have a full slate of digital ads, both on Google and on Facebook and Instagram, right? Because Twitter will not allow us to do political advertising. They consider this political advertising. We have made probably no fewer than 24 separate emails out to our list specifically about the petition, right? So, I can't tell you how many times we've talked about it on live streams across as many platforms as we possibly can. I have worn the rubber off the tires of my car driving from place to place to place, telling people about this petition, right, when I speak. I don't even know what the count is for events that have been spun up since June, right? So let me just say this. If we haven't gotten to you and you really want to get this thing signed and do whatever you want to do, become a petition circulator and contact the office and find out why you're not getting communicated with, right? We literally have an 800 number that you can call at any time. It's 800-662-1836. You can pick up that phone. That phone works both ways. You can pick up that phone anytime. You can call it if you feel like you haven't heard from us in enough, more, recently enough. You pick up that phone, you call it, you can get a hold of somebody in our member success team all the time, right? So I don't know what to tell you, William. I mean, the only thing I could probably do is maybe come to your house, knock on your door. William, can I sign your petition? But this thing about why are we not contacting, buddy? We're contacting way more than 400,000 people. Let me just go ahead and tell you that. Okay, so let us scroll on. Somebody got an unsigned copy off of Amazon. See, that's what you get for giving money to Bezos and not to the TNM. Okay, so by the way, hey, thank you for the coffee. By the way, the coffee you gave Alec, it was great, and I really do appreciate it. Gifts of coffee are always welcome in the Miller household, as you might imagine. Oh wow! Hey Tammy, thank you very much for your super chat. That is fantastic, guys. You don't know, I actually went to high school with Tammy, and they're the ones that are on the way to Galveston apparently right now, listening to me when you should be relaxing and listening to, I don't know, some good music or whatever for your vacay. But here's what's cool about this: I will get to see Tammy and actually some other TNM folks that all of us graduated from the same high school, and various years. Our high school actually does homecoming once every 3 years. I think I may have talked about this on the last coffee talk, but that's coming up next month, so it's going to be fun. So Tammy, thank you very much, and you guys enjoy your vacation. Okay, scrolling right down. Yeah, okay. And Amanda says she loves listening to the book on Audible. That book was narrated by Bill Brooks, who, after reading the book, became so excited by what he had to read for the audiobook, he joined the team. So, as a matter of fact, I think there are some videos that we have on our YouTube channel that Bill also narrated. Hey, James, thank you for your super chat, buddy. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. He says, for additional signed material from Daniel, get the message out. I am on it, amigo. We're going to get it done. You guys are going to run me to death, but we're going to get it done, right? Because I'm ready to get this thing done. 25 years. Do I need to remind you? Tuesday, it will have been 25 years. No wavering, no taking some time off to go do something else, try something different. Texas independence since August 24th, 1996. And folks, I'm ready to win. I hope you're ready to win. Okay, somebody says, I bought your book. I'm not finished reading it yet, but can you unbend my main account? I don't know what that is. You'll have to contact somebody on the website. Okay, all right, here we go. This is interesting. Hey, and thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. I can't really see Nerd Uno. Okay, nice. I like that. Not sure if this has been asked before. Okay, the question is about whether or not the annexation was legal or not legal. And I got to tell you, I have looked at that. I mean, let's get down to it. I mean, the fact of the matter is that where I stand on the issue right now is that there were probably irregularities in the annexation. However, those irregularities from the research that I have seen and the research that I've done appear to have been on the federal side. So if you look at sort of the process that was followed over on the state side, understand that they ultimately put it to a vote of the people, and the people voted to join up. Now, question becomes, were they asked the right question? Were the details of the deal really kind of set before the vote was taken? Those are some real kind of fuzzy areas that I think are questionable. But in my mind, and this is in my mind only, because I'm pretty sure that federal jurists will disagree with this, but I believe that the annexation on the federal side was completely 100% illegal. And a lot of that is predicated upon the fact that independent nations, sovereign nations, do business with one another by treaty. And we all know that Texas was not annexed by treaty. The treaty that was passed by the Republic of Texas Senate was actually voted down by the United States Senate, and Texas was annexed by joint resolution of Congress because the threshold was lower, right? Ratification of a treaty is 2/3, but joint resolution of Congress is only a majority of both houses. And so because they couldn't get the majority because they couldn't get the supermajority in the Senate, they ran it as a joint resolution. And I know that there have been some subsequent administrations, some courts that may have looked at this topic, but the problem for us becomes, does it affect what we do right now practically, right? Does it make a difference for what it is that we need to do? And to me, the answer is absolutely not, right? I mean, what we need is an expression, a current expression of the will of the people of Texas on this issue, and not adjudicating or re-adjudicating irregularities from the 1840s, right? We need to be able to go out and make the modern day case for why Texas should become a self-governing independent nation among nations again, and put it to a vote of the people in accordance with current Article 1, Section 2 of the Texas Constitution, and go win that fight, right? Go win that argument. And then, then it doesn't matter what happened in the 1840s with the annexation issue. What matters is what's happening right now. Okay, so let's rock it through here. Man, you guys are chatting it up tonight. Thank you so much. Hey, I hope that got your question answered. Yeah, someone's looking forward to the town hall. That town hall is going to be incredible. I think it's going to be phenomenal. And look, all of them are super interested. I mean, they are excited to participate. We set it far enough out so that we would not run into scheduling conflicts, right? So it definitely worked out, with the exception of Abbott, who apparently has scheduling conflicts all the time, all the way out to November 7th. So, all right. So let's get down to the tax, which are brass. Hey, Allison. Allison says, thanks, Daniel, for all you've done. I didn't know. Thank you, because this is not a one-man show, right? That's not how this works. Teamwork makes the dream work. So let's all work. Let's all pull our weight. Let's get this thing done, because this cannot be done by one person alone. Although I will tell you, it sure feels like it some days. All right. Scrolling down. Somebody said something about Texas having our own Bill of Rights. We do. Article 1 of the current Texas Constitution is the Texas Bill of Rights. Okay. Yep. True. Abbott can reach out later. Hey, Viva, one more time. One more super chat. Thank you. If you're here and you're not a member of TNM and you're not getting signatures, you're doing yourself, your family, and your friends a disservice. That's what's called team accountability, right? Each of our petition circulators, each of our volunteers, we encourage one another. We hold one another accountable. There's no room in this effort for closet Bernie Sanders voters who believe that they're going to leave the burden up to somebody else, right? This is on us. All of us that have crossed this line in the sand have taken on a personal responsibility to help make Texas independence happen in our own way. So definitely thank you for that cajoling there. And no more paper towel jokes, I promise. Okay, rolling through. Man, you guys are pounding me tonight. All right, so here's what I got to do. So let's talk about a couple of things, right, man? Because I'm running out of time. I could take your questions all night, but I do have a couple of things that I want to nail down. Number one, this Afghanistan pullout debacle. I don't think any of us disagree that we have our boys, our men and women in uniform have been there probably far longer than they needed to be. But let us also remember that it has been a failure time and time again of subsequent administrations to go in and affect real policy in Afghanistan for, so that there is some sort of strategy to exit out of, right? We are not, nor should the United States ever be the policeman of the world. I think we can all agree with this. There are national security concerns, and when troops went over there, they went over there to eradicate terrorist training hotbeds of people that were training to come over here and kill people like us. And look, we've had our share of terror threats here in Texas, right? So I think we all understand that having the Taliban regime over there. So we had 8 years of Obama's failures. We had the last 4 years of Bush's failures in that region in Afghanistan, and of course Biden's in here like 6 months. He decides, okay, well I'm gonna even if we're not ready, I'm going to pull this thing out. Well, he did, and he did a horrible job of it. And now, yet again, it's 2001, right? I mean, it's 2001 all over again. We've got, what was 2001? The Taliban in control of Afghanistan. Britney Spears is freed. I mean, I saw that meme today. I thought it was hilarious. They're not lying. It's like 2001 all over again. Somebody rolled the clock back. So here we go again. But what this shows from my perspective is that the federal government, now everybody's pinning this thing on Biden. Even Biden's pinning on Biden. He's saying the buck stops here. But let us not forget the sheer number of people it took to execute such a failure, like to fail this hard. He called it. Ultimately, he's responsible for it, because that's what happens when you take on the president mantle. Ultimately, you're responsible for it. But I want you to think about the absolute sheer level of incompetence systemically that had to exist for those scenes to play out on the TVs that we have seen. And look, we've seen very clearly that the federal government is perfectly willing and capable to abandon their own. China's licking their chops at Taiwan right now. When people say, aren't you afraid if Texas leaves that China's going to invade? Well, we're not Taiwan. I'm sure Taiwan's going to be first. But at this point, I have serious, and I think every Texan should have serious reservations about the federal government's ability and willingness to protect the homeland right now. So if you are concerned about national security here in Texas, you should be a staunch TEXIT supporter, because I don't know that we're going to be able to rely on the federal government to secure our homeland. I mean, let's be honest. Let me get a drink. You can tell I'm trying not to choke to death, right? Let me get a drink here. You take the failure in Afghanistan and what you saw there, and the lack of confidence that we all should have in the federal government's ability to successfully deploy the military. You couple that with the fact that they have left the southern border with more holes than a Democrat jobs plan, right? And what you have here is a recipe for disaster in Texas. It is a national security nightmare waiting to happen. And let's be frank, Texas is bearing the brunt of that lack of security. So suddenly you've got the federal government not being able to execute in strong national defense, in any type of national defense, while leaving Texas front door wide open. If that doesn't chill you to the bone and make you understand the existential threat we are under if we do not become a self-governing independent nation, then I don't know how to fix you. I don't know how to fix you. I mean, it is a crisis on the southern border, a crisis. And now think about, you have a rogue state run by the Taliban, this new emirate, that now you're going to start seeing these terror cells form back up, terrorist training camps in Afghanistan. And then next thing you know, all they got to do, they don't even have to get them to the U.S. All they got to do is get them to Central America, where non-governmental organizations will happily load them on buses, ride them through Mexico with the blind eye or outright acceptance of the Mexican government, right up to our border, where they can either just sneak across, right? Because there's the manpower down there is not there to take care of it. We know this. Or they can just go up to, the wall that Greg Abbott is building that is nothing more than a chain link fence with a couple of snips, and boom, they're here. Here. Not in New York, not in California, not in Washington, D.C., but here, right here. Federal government is not going to fix it. And anyone who thinks the solutions to this lie in anything to do with the federal government is so dang delusional, they should be institutionalized. It is sheer folly and delusion to think that there is any solution to this problem that exists with the federal government. So if you are not motivated by the fact that you or your family or your neighbors or your countrymen here in Texas could lose their lives at the hands of some jihadist, right? Some terrorist that took the Biden-Harris train from Central America right through the southern Texas border, then I can't help you. I can't help you. You are not on the same side as us. Because I will tell you right now, I will fight for my family, for my friends, for my neighbors, and for my countrymen, and I'm going to fight for Texas. I'm going to fight for TEXIT. I'm going to fight for Texas to be a self-governing independent nation state. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to do everything I can because I understand what happens if we fail. I mean, it does not take a rocket scientist. It does not take a rocket scientist to figure this out, right? To connect the dots, right? That's one of those little coloring books that your parents bought for you when you were kids, and you took out your little Crayola and you connected those dots, and there was a picture of a dog, right? It's that simple. The dots are numbered. You connect them, and voila, you understand what happens. So this is serious business, folks. If you think it is not, you are absolutely insane. I mean, I've been called nuts for 25 years for believing Texas should be a self-governing independent nation. And apparently, Texas supporters are the only sane people in the room because everybody else is delusional. I mean, you think Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi give a crap what happens to you? Because that's who's governing you right now, right? You are governed by people in other states, chosen by people in other states. Oh yeah, they'll give their platitudes. They'll, we're one country. They'll say all these things. But let me tell you something. It's all smoke and mirrors and words and hearts and flowers until it's your son or daughter, murdered by a 3-time deported illegal alien that was a felon, right? Or when the Taliban terror cell sneaks in and decides to go blow up your kid's school, right? I mean, it's insane. Folks, those images on the TV should be all the convincing that you need. But if that's not enough, right? Not only do they abandon even their own citizens, people that helped them out, not only did the federal government abandon those people, the real priority for Biden is that he has ordered the Department of Education to look at overriding Governor Abbott's executive order banning mask mandates. Now, look, I don't care what side of this issue you're on with the mask mandates. I've got my opinions on it. Maybe we'll have a conversation about that. But I want you to look at it like this. The governor, under law, made an EO, said no political subdivision of the state can force people to wear a mask or take the vaccine, right? Your choice. You want a mask, you want to get a vaccination, go do it, but they cannot force you. And remember, these are political subdivisions of the state. So within the framework of law, the President of the United States is ordering the Department of Education to spin up their civil rights task force to override the governor of Texas. Now, I don't care who that governor is, but the fact of the matter is, we said this time and time again, the federal government hates Texas to be and operate independently, right? So if that doesn't stick in your craw, and understand that what they're talking about doing, they believe they have all the legal backing under federal law that they need. So we're going to have some interesting times, my friends. It's going to be very interesting days coming up. And what we have to do is get out there and live out what we preach. And if we're saying that TEXIT and Texas independence is important to us, then we have to live it. People have to know it, right? Which gets me to kind of the final thing. I am so over time, but you know what? I don't care. This thing's not going to cut off until I hit the button. It's going to keep going. Now, you guys some of you may jump off, some of you may not, whatever you want to do, right? But I'm going to be here until I'm finished, because this is coffee talk. Coffee talk. It happens. So final thing. I have seen here recently a lot of folks that are supposedly on our same side of the line of the sand, asking a lot of questions that are absolutely 100% already covered in every bit of material we've got somewhere, website, book, any videos, whatever. And so this is what I'm going to encourage you to do. Number one, talked a lot about it. If you do not have a copy of it, go get a copy of it. And more importantly, read it. Okay, let's go with that. Now, here's the deal. Lest you think that this is me hawking books, I don't do that, right? I don't care if you buy it from Amazon. Well, you buy it from the T&M, right? Because T&M needs the money. I don't collect a salary, and I don't think I get royalties off of books that are sold through the T&M. So buy it through the T&M, right? Shove it in my face. Make sure I don't make a dime on it. I don't care, right? Buy it through the T&M. I'll even autograph your copy, right? It's the way it works. Or go to Amazon. Give Jeff Bezos some more money so he can go shoot himself up into space. Wherever you get it, I don't care. Go get it. Go read it. Number two, our website is so full of information. I mean, it is. I have gotten compliment after compliment after compliment of people saying anything you would need to know about Texas independence or the T&M is there. I mean, we have literally just launched the T&M Academy. We've already got one full course on there. We've got a course for petition circulators. We've got a course on there for legislative training. We have got a course on there for our local coordinators. We've got courses for our national leadership team. I mean, we are rolling, we are prepping, producing, and rolling out courses in the Academy on top of all the information, the extensive library that we have. We literally have a section on the site for every TEXIT question that you could possibly ask. There are about 100 questions that we get asked on a regular basis. And those are all there, and they're all answered. Social Security, veterans benefits, Texas versus White, illegal, is this treason? What's going to happen to, national sports teams? What's going to happen to NCAA teams? What's going to happen to Medicare, Medicaid? What's going to happen to national? I mean, they're all there, right? Many of them taken from this book, and in some instances expanded even more than what's in the book. So be sure to go do that, tnm.me/Texit. And then more than that, connect with other folks that are in the T&M, right? Your fellow supporters, your fellow members, get dialed into them, right? There are people out there that are as passionate about this as I am, as you are, that have been there, done that. Listen to the voice of experience, right? There are people out there that can answer your questions, and the vast majority of them will answer them correctly. You're not going to go to a T&M or for the most part to get bad info. So make sure you go do that. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. You know what? I'm scrolling through some more questions. You know why? Because I still have more coffee. And hang in there. Amanda says, my husband Michael is a CPC and I'm recruiting members in my barber chair. You go. You get them wherever you can, right? Okay, I see some networking on here. Somebody says the 2-hour special on the actual post-Texit thing would be good. I am making note of that. Okay, tell you what, let me roll down here. Oh, super chat. Hey, Daniel, thank you very much. Appreciate that. He says contributing to ensure Texas has satellites available for the internet to run after the U.S. pulls our internet plug. Oh, some of you may not get that, but we literally, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we had somebody in the chat in the comments trolling over and over, like commenting on everything saying, you can't be independent if you don't have your own satellite. I mean, literally, it was the same comment over and over. I was like, man. Well, hey, Wes. Wes says, but without your guidance and leadership, we would not. Okay, hey, thank you very much, Wes. Those are kind words. I do appreciate that. And remember, for those of you who are joining us now, there is something being planned for Tuesday night, a live stream Tuesday to celebrate my 25th year. The team's putting it together. I don't know the details. I try to stay out of those sorts of things because it feels a bit narcissistic, right? It feels like planning your own birthday party. So I'd rather not know. I'll be surprised like everybody else. Okay, so let's scroll down through here. Okay, I did Afghanistan. That must be an old one. Somebody says, wow, I'm pretty new to this. You don't have to be that hard on me. Let me finish. I'm not being hard. I promise. Just encouraging, sometimes straight talk. Who would become the impromptu president until we could hold an election? That's Wes's question. Yeah. Okay. So actually, it's not as hard as you think. Everything stays as it is until it changes, right? So that's the way the transition works. There's not like day after TEXIT, all of a sudden we have to go and, we have to have a new constitution, a new president. We got to have all these things. There's a gradual transition, and it's covered in the book where we specifically talk about how we would have to implement some constitutional amendments to say change the names of the offices. You could amend the Constitution to a lot of different things. That's got to be a part of that 2-hour lecture that we do. But effectively, until we hold an election under a document that calls for a president, then we will continue to elect officers as they are in the current governing document. There is no gap, right? Okay. I'm not sure who you are, Shouting Clouds, but get in the fight, buddy. Glad to have you, and glad to see that spirit. We're going to get in there. We're going to get this thing done. Okay, so let's go down through here. All right, you know what? I think we're pretty close. Somebody says somebody wants to take me to task about Al Qaeda and Taliban are not the same thing. Oh, I'm totally aware. What you do not know, probably about me, is that one of my serious fields of study is that of foreign policy. So I am quite aware of the difference between Al Qaeda and Taliban. I am also aware that the Taliban were very fond of letting terrorist organizations, Islamic terrorist organizations, use Afghanistan for the purposes of equipping and training jihadists to send out into the world and kill people like me. So I am not unaware of that. Okay, you know what? I think did I cover it already? I think I made it through. Look at that. Oh, somebody says, okay, hey, thank you for the super chat, and you are welcome for the stream. All right, look, if I missed it, if I missed your question, I am very sorry for missing it, but I am like way over now. So, and I promise to be respectful of your time. So sorry for being over, but that happens. You guys have to remember, I used to run once a week, I think a 2 or 3 hour radio show. I think it started out as a 2-hour, went to a 3-hour. So I kind of, having it compressed down is a bit difficult for me because there's a lot to talk about, right? So that being said, I think it's about time that we wrap up. that we finish up our coffee talk and we all get out there and get back to work, because that's what I got to do. As soon as we shut this thing down here, I've got, God, I don't know, probably another 4 or 5 hours of work to do. So that being said, I want to thank you so very much for joining us tonight and just being a part of this. It is a much better journey when we're doing it together, and I am just so glad to have you. That being said, I have to remind you, if you are not a member of the Texas Nationalist Movement, head over to tnm.me/join. That is tnm.me/join. And, I think I actually have that. Somebody talks all the time that I don't have these up on the screen. And now I feel kind of like an idiot because I don't have, there it is. Look, boom. This is what happens when you have to run one-man production. But there's a link, tnm.me/join. Go there to become a member. And of course, if you want to know more about our petition campaign, head over to tnm.me/petition. You will find out there where you can sign the petition. You'll find out what the petition's even about. And of course, find out where you too can become a petition circulator. And then, of course, we have long since launched this, but we're getting ready to make a big announcement. Our Take Texas Back campaign. If you ever had a thought of running for office, if you do not believe you're being represented, the TNM needs you. The Take Texas Back campaign is an amazing campaign that is being launched by the TNM that is intending to recruit an entire slate of candidates to challenge all of these people in the Texas legislature that did not support your right to vote on Texas independence. And to make that happen, we're going to need you. There's no better person to run against an anti-Texas politician than a TNM candidate. So we absolutely need you to be a part of this effort. So head over to tnm.me/run for office, fill out the form, and we will definitely be in touch with you. You'll hear from our Take Texas Back campaign director, Tom Belmore. He will walk you through the steps, and we'll make it happen. What we are getting ready to do, and I'll tease this because, again, I'm over time, but I'll tease what we are getting ready to do in this regard is something that that Texas politics has never seen. It's literally never happened. You go back in the history books, it has not happened. It has never existed. The framework we are creating for our candidates is going to be amazing, and it will make the political parties green-eyed jealous because, unlike them, we are not restricted from doing the things that we're getting ready to do. As a political party, they have to abide by things that political parties have to do in the Texas Election Code, and we've got our own framework. And man, I'm excited for what we're getting ready to offer. So go over there, tnm.me/run for office. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. I will leave you, as I do every week, with the words of Sam Houston when he said that Texas will again lift its head and stand among the nations. I believe that time is now. And the question is, will you stand with her? Good night, everyone.